fans, we're here for another Coach's Show, and we appreciate Coach DJ Pigg being here, as well as Mr. Champion, playing like a champ, isn't he, Coach?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Travis Champion, of course, just a junior now, and has another year to go, unless you can hold him back. I don't know if they don't let you do that anymore.
I'll look into it for sure.
Yeah. So he's part of the big scoring tandem for the Rockets. We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. First of all, let's get into what's happened so far. Coach, right off the chute, out of the chute this year, doing pretty well. You're 3-4 with a team that. Gosh, you didn't have much of a team. Really, the football season was over, and you brought all these guys in and trying to get everybody in shape. And you snapped a 3-game losing streak with a big win over at Union County early in the week, and that's a nice win, real nice win for the team. And then you got a big game now coming up with Trigg County on Friday. So, just so far, you got to be pleased with what you're seeing.
Yeah, we've shown signs of a lot of good stuff. We've learned a lot through the first 6 or 7 games here from kind of where we're falling short right now and where we got to get better. I think definitely continuing to try to get in basketball shape. Mm-hmm. We still, I think, are not quite there just because we haven't really had a chance to. Once we got football, once football season ended, we got those guys in there. We still think probably today we're going to be working on practice number 8 or 9 total with everybody being there because once we started playing games, we've had 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah. And you're 7 games in, you've had 9 practices with the whole team.
Exactly. So we're still getting organized, still getting guys into shape. Some of those guys are still kind of on the mend and trying to get back to 100% health from football season. So we're working through that. It's just it's adversity that we've got to work through, and most every school is going to be beat and banged up throughout the year at some point or another. So it's going to be big for some of our guys to step in and fill some roles to be able to continue to have success in the spots that we are.
Well, you've played a pretty doggone tough schedule here right out of the block.
Yeah.
I mean, you started with Marshall County, who maybe we're finding out's a little better than everybody thought they were going to be.
Yep.
And then you had your district game. You played Stewart County, got both of those, Livingston and Stewart County. Then McLean County, one of the best teams they've had in ages over there. They were off to an undefeated start. I think Ohio County finally beat them the other night. But pretty good team right there. And then Webster County, we know what they always bring to bear. They're going to be up on you a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah.
Draft be up on you. You're a tough team year in, year out. And then you had Lyon County. Before you go over and win that game against Union County. So you certainly hadn't called any opposition so far this season. Trev, who's been the toughest team you've played? If you want to throw Lyon County out, just go ahead, because they're an anomaly. I mean, they beat the tar out of us, and they're going to beat the tar out of a lot of people. Yeah. It's just one of those things. It's an anomaly for a small school like that to have such a great team. Yeah. But who's been the toughest team you've seen?
Probably so Webster with their ball pressure.
They just always put a lot of pressure on the ball. Always do. Yeah. And I understand it kind of got a little chippy at times, as it usually does when you play Webster County. Yeah. Coach, you like that kind of play? Was that what you liked when you played for Marshall County?
Well, yeah, it depended on the team, depending on how well I could shake them a lot of times as a player.
Who was that team down in the first region that played like Webster County?
A lot. Murray was physical. McCracken's always been physical since they consolidated in 13-14. Graves was always that way when Birdsong was at Graves before he moved away from there. So, physical play is definitely something that I've experienced a lot of. And I think that Webster County game was good for us because it's kind of put us in a spot where we realize now, like, people have seen that bothered us a little bit. So we are starting to really put a focus on being able to handle that physicality and ball pressure and being able to work through that and still execute our stuff. So,
of course, they got you pretty good, 67-42.
Yeah.
But I know you were in that game until, the third quarter? I mean, it was a close game at the half, best I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was still proud of our guys.
Yeah.
That was a tough game by the end of it. tough one to swallow. But, I mean, I felt like the guys that were out there were still putting forth their best effort. And like I said, it was a learning experience. You're going to my dad used to tell me, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. And I'm sure he didn't quite coin that phrase, but that night we just happened to be the bug, and hopefully as we continue to work and get better, we can be the windshield from time to time.
Yeah. Well, you've got a good start. You've got 3 wins under your belt. You may not be running them over like bugs, but you're winning ball games.
We are.
That's what everybody looks at, isn't it, when they scan down the score sheet. Yeah, that's what you're looking at. I want to begin also the show by crediting our partners who help us bring you this. So these are our featured sponsors of the week here on the board, and we appreciate all of our sponsors. We'll begin with Clark's True Value, full-service lumberyard and hardware, household items, and much more down at Clark's True Value on Sturgis Road. Seaplant Federal Credit Union, check out their low interest rates on auto loans. Travis got a nice rig in case you need to refinance that thing or anything. If you had any trouble with those payments on those nice cars. Was that a Camaro?
Yeah.
Yeah, bless your heart. Mulligan's Pizzeria and Pub, they have golf, pool's not in season, but they have a pool out there. Disc golf, darts, bar, much, much more. Rocket Tire, down on Sturgis Road as well. See Patrick Holloman. He also does some mechanic work down there. And YTG Insurance, former Rocket Tanner Tabor, who happens to be the uncle of Travis Perry, who is quite the basketball stud, I guess you'd say, over at Lyon County. Man, he's tough. He's a real deal, isn't he, Coach?
Absolutely, he's a really, really great player. He's got an extremely high basketball IQ. He's definitely one of those kids that you can tell they come few and far between, those kids that can kind of see plays happen 3 or 4 steps before they actually do. I think we've got a kid sitting here that's like that for sure too. So, but yeah, Perry's an exceptional player, and he's going to go and have a lot of success on after high school as well.
Well, of course, Perry and the Lyon County boys put it on us pretty good. We won't talk much about that because, again, they're going to do that to a lot of people. Yeah. They already have, and they're going to continue. They're going to be a force in the state to be reckoned with. And I don't know, Perry's one of the best players ever to come from West Kentucky. Yeah. He played baseball for me back travel ball years ago. And he's a great kid, and I'm going to tell you, he's gotten big, hasn't he, Trev? Yeah. His shoulder, he's gotten broad and strong, and that's just, I think, the difference in the game that he's playing now. I mean, he's a force. Yeah.
It's not just him either. That Lyon County team as a whole, you can tell that those kids have
shoulders and
physically developed.
It goes on down the line, and of course, Jack Reddick and Travis both have deep roots right here. Families from here could just as well be wearing blue over here instead of that purple, which doesn't go with anything, does it, Travis? No. It's like orange. I grew up in Tennessee. Orange goes with nothing.
It goes with blue. That's about it. Well, that's what I learned. That's what I learned growing up.
You lived through the orange phase too of your life.
My wife is wearing it now. So.
Is she? Yeah. Well, of course, Marshall County's a great place to show up in orange at a basketball game. Yeah. That's for doggone sure. Yeah. It's one of the finest places for basketball in the state of Kentucky. So let's talk just a little bit about your guys and what they're doing. Travis here, he's scoring 22 points a game, 6 rebounds a game. He's right behind Case Goldman, a newcomer, relative newcomer, back to basketball, who's got 7. Also leading the team in free throw shooting with 71%. Second on the team in 3-point percentage at 34. Guess who's leading the team in 3-point percentage?
Preston.
No.
Actually,
Goldman, he only shot 1. He made it.
That actually, so I actually entered the stats, and I'm not so sure that might be a mistake, but I'll give it to Goldman for the time being. I've got to go back and check in
make
on
sure
that.
He shot a 3?
I don't think that he's attempted a 3 this year that I can remember.
I saw that, and I couldn't help but rig just a little bit that Case Goldman was out shooting him from behind the arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll say maybe you are the top of the line there. Of course, all sorts of shooting 40% from the floor. You and Press and Morganson both are. And, of course, you guys are scoring it up. You're averaging, 26 what is it? I have to get back over here. What 22? You're averaging 22, and he's right behind you. I think at around 20, 21. So these guys. What we're finding, Coach, isn't it? When you play a team that hasn't got the personnel to really stop two great scores, you're going to have success, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we experienced that Tuesday night when we were at Union. They were playing defense a lot, which is testament to how much our guys have grown in a short period of time, too, because they came out and guarded us a lot like Webster did. And we handled it totally differently than we did when we had Webster at home. So we were able to game plan for that a little bit and really work on that. And Trav and Preston and Jackson Hatfield, all three, handled that physicality and ball pressure just totally differently than they did not a week before. So it was a good learning experience for us, and it was good for us to be able to see how far we've come in a short period of time and how we need to continue to work to get better in chunks like that.
Well, it's tough to beat Union County over there. I forget I had it in the press, in the newspaper. I think we've only beaten them like 3 or 4 times in the last 20 plus meetings. I mean, it went way back. So that's a good quality win over there. And I watch. Of course, our girls were playing out here, and I was there watching my daughter play that game. But I had my iPad sitting there. We were watching you all on the NFHS network, and of course, everybody's heads was kind of. It got close there at the end. Yeah. Everybody bobbed in on that, wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Jackson Hatfield, and what I really noticed in the game, he's starting to handle the ball, handle the pressure a lot better, and that makes a big difference for you. Get Preston and Travis clear, maybe do a little more shooting.
Absolutely, yeah. It helps get those guys into scoring positions a little bit easier when it relieves them from having to handle the ball a little bit. So that it definitely helps. Like you said, we did learn. One of the things that we were able to take away from that game is we really got to start handling or working on late game situations. Playing with a lead, playing from down a little bit and trying to fight back in the final minutes. And that's stuff that film study and practice time will fix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of scratched their way back into that, made it a game when you want to win those going away, right?
Right, absolutely.
I noticed you were a bit animated in that game too, Coach. You look like your vertical's still pretty good over there on the sideline.
Well, I made the comment to Jeff, Coach Embry, not long after that play happened. I said that's probably the highest I've jumped in 10 years. So I did. I got
probably
up there
30 inches, man. I mean,
yeah. So I still got a little youth left in the legs. But it's going quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see that vigor and energy from our coach too. I mean, you're younger than a lot of the coaches that we've had. I guess you have to go back. I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody that coached basketball that was in their early 20s. Maybe Jimmy Croft did in girls, but I can't think on the boys. I think most of them were a bit older than that by the time they ascended into that position. Yeah. So, yeah, I like to see it. Want to take just a moment again to recognize some of our partners who help bring you this program as well as much of the other stuff that we do online for the Rocket basketball program. First United Bank on Main Street in Marion. See Charlie Day for your next loan. H&H Home and Hardware. Boy, if you missed Ladies Night, you missed a big deal down there last weekend. My wife said it was crazy. It was packed. People standing in line. You wouldn't believe a hardware store has Ladies Night and people packed in there too.
Yeah.
They're great at promotions down there. Crittenden Community Hospital, where local people provide local care, and you can go out there and grab you some lunch too. I eat lunch from the hospital cafeteria quite a bit. It's excellent lunch. Frazier Law Firm, Bart Frazier and his team of attorneys, Jonathan James and Wes Hunt. See them for all your legal needs. Farmers Bank and Trust, locations all over West Kentucky, including Marion, Salem, Bowling Green, Henderson. You can get Farmers Bank services in many towns around here. And Bobby Stinnett Used Cars, one of the biggest fans of Rocket basketball. Sean Stinnett, former Rocket himself, he always has a front row seat. And you hear him during the game too, don't you, Trev? Yeah. And of course, Kobe Evans, attorney at law on Carlisle Street in Marion and in Smithland. And we're not related. Everybody asks me if I'm related to Kobe Evans. I'm not. Jump back into some statistically some of the things that are going on, Coach. 39% as a team field goal percentage, 29% from three-point range, and 55 at the foul line. Any of those you'd like to see higher? 39 is not too bad.
39 is not too bad. We definitely, I think with getting better shots and better looks, trying to get more high percentage looks, we would like to see that number bump.
What was the ideal? I remember Coach Newton, Steve Newton, and Coach Murray State had it on the board in the locker room down there. I think 42% is what he wanted to shoot.
Yeah,
from the
for team field goal percentage up, trying to get it above 40 would be really nice. I think our free throw percentage is another one that we're working on that, which we saw a big boost in that one in the game Tuesday night as well. I think we shot 70.8% from the foul line that night. So that was huge, and it showed free throws win and lose basketball games.
Sure.
So luckily we were on the good end of it that night and were able to come out with that win.
Well, one of the things I know you have to be excited about, you've got 194 rebounds in 7 games. You know, that's 27 rebounds an outing. And that's not too shabby for a team that didn't know if it even had a front line a few days before the season. You had these football guys that just kind of, you didn't know for sure they were going to show up even. I mean, you talked to them, but, once season's over and they lick their wounds for a day or two and show up, and you got Counts and Gobin, and of course these guys, him and Preston, they can get some rebounds too. It's
Absolutely.
not just the big guys, but you have to be proud about that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it was a big point of emphasis after the first game at Marshall.
Tough outing there.
So we learned quick that was going to be something that we really need to work on. It's something that we do on a daily basis in practice now. We implement rebounding drills early on in practice for 5 or 6 minutes at least, if not more. So, and we've seen those numbers come up. So that rebounds per game average as a team, I believe, is steadily coming up. Hope to see it continue to climb a little bit. I know we've got our work cut out for us on the glass this Friday at Trigg. I know the Jaden Vaughn kid is averaging almost 15 rebounds a game. Or 14 rebounds a game or so, and they're averaging upwards of 40 rebounds a game as a team. So it's definitely going to be something that is going to be a focal point for the games in the near future as we finish out regular season, like kind of the local play, before we head into Christmas. So.
Of course, you have your second district game. Well, third district game. I keep wanting to throw Lyon County out of the mix. No, we're not even going to count that one. But you are 1-1 in the district. You'll go down to Trigg County. So this is a pretty critical game for you down there. And Trigg County's playing well. They're 6-1 after they had a 500 season last year. I think they finished 14-14. New coach. Probably not much of a change in the system because Chad Burgett was the head coach for the last 4 or 5 years. He had replaced Peyton Croft down there, and now his son, Burgett's son, Mason Burgett, is the head coach. Maybe the youngest head coach in the state. He's 23, and you're 2 or 3 years older than that, right? Yeah. So you don't know what to expect. Maybe they've just kind of been odd out of the chute in a way. They I'm not going to say they hadn't played. Well, they certainly hadn't played the schedule. I don't think that you've played. Save a game or two. Now, they played Lyon County.
They had a good win at Caldwell and won that game by 18 or 20. They beat Hickman by a couple in overtime. I know they had Heritage Christian early. Union County, I think they beat Union by 16.
They did.
So that was a good win for them. They did have that one at home, but nonetheless, that's if you can beat Union County by double digits, that's a good win.
And they beat Clarksville Christian, which is not a real strong team at all down in Clarksville, Tennessee. And then they beat Hickman County, which really I think's only won one game the rest of the season, and that was in overtime. And it was like 83, 82.
There was a lot of offense in that game. It looked like
or no defense.
A lot of times those come hand in hand. I guess.
You don't know. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen you've probably watched the film on it.
Yeah.
But, just a team that really has surprised me in a way. Trav, what do you think? These guys have not they lost, 3 starters from last year. Yeah. They brought 2 guys back. And some of these guys that are scoring, you know who they are. What are you seeing out of them?
They can shoot the ball really, really good. Really.
Yeah, you're saying now as far as 15 to 30 feet. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. 3-point percentage is really, really good for them.
Yeah, they've always been a team that could get up and down the floor, and they're rebounding. You said pretty good too. Who do you think we have to stop down there? We know Jaden Vaughn's a good player, but they've got 4 guys scoring in double figures. Vaughn's not even their leading scorer. It's the Washer boy who didn't even play much last year, did he?
Yeah.
Who do you stop to beat them?
For sure, Washer.
Yeah.
And the guards. Their guards are really, really fast.
Yeah. Of course, we've got a couple of pretty quick guards too. Yeah. So, what's the key to winning this basketball game at Trigg County?
Keep Jaden off the glass, really.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll beat them?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Whose responsibility is it going to be? You got some big guys in there who can put a tail on them, can't they? Yeah. Jaden Vaughn's a good player.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while, and Trigg County has always been a difficult team for us. It seems like they're always close. It seems like they're always close, but they're a team that they haven't gone to the regional tournament in like 16 seasons or something. Is that right? It's something crazy. It's even hard to believe that a team has. And we've been to the regional tournament, but I don't know, 8 out of the last 9 years or something like that. And Trigg County's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Now these when you played this same team when you were in middle school and in 5th grade, 6th grade, were y'all beating these guys or?
Well, in middle school they were beating us, and then when we got up to high school, we started beating them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference, you think?
Well, me and Jaden are in the same grade, so we've been going back and forth really.
For a long time. Are y'all good friends?
I don't really talk to him.
No. But you see him on the court, you know him on the court.
Yeah.
You have probably a lot of mutual respect, I would say.
For sure.
Yeah. Now you play some travel basketball too, and do you ever see him in that or no? Who are some of the guys around the district or region that you do? Do you play with any of them in your travel team?
Most of mine are from McLean.
So you knew all those guys up there, huh?
And some are from Webster too.
Yeah. And I think that was your biggest game of the year. You threw in, 33? 33. So that was your biggest outing. So you showed off against your buddies a little bit. You'd think they know you well enough to kind of put the collar on you, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. How did you get away with that over there?
I just don't really know.
Felt it that night? You had it going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the zone, they say. You ever get in the zone? What puts you in the zone?
Nothing really.
Nothing?
Nothing, I guess. I'm always
You don't have a trigger, You're always in the zone.
Stay ready, you got to get ready.
Yeah, I like it. I'm always in the zone. Because you got a big zone, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a Camaro, too, man. That thing goes fast. How fast will that go?
Don't answer that question.
My mom's going to be watching this.
Well, again, just a great opportunity to go down to Trigg County and kind of get a leg up on the district, and if you get this win, you'll be 2-1, and really this year it's no secret everybody's playing for number 2. Really, we don't nobody wants to go in a game planning to lose. Nobody does that, but Lyon County's going to be a tough out.
Right.
And they're the favorite for sure. And this game means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a district game. Like you said, it's a chance to get back, get kind of a leg up on the district, running for that second spot, the second seed in the district tournament. So we're looking at winning this one gets us to 2-1 in the district, back to 4-4, sitting at 500 with a chance to get back to a winning record over Christmas. So it's definitely a big game. And I talked to the guys about that at the beginning of the week before we went to Union, that we had 2 games that were going to be dogfights this week that would kind of put us back on the radar a little bit, I think, because after the 3 losses in a row was tough on us mentally and physically. So it was good to kind of get the weekend, Saturday, Sunday off, and get in, have a good practice on Monday, and then the boys responded. They came out Tuesday and played really well. All the statistical side of the game shows that. We shot the ball well, took care of it. Defensively that was probably our best defensive performance for sure Tuesday night. And hopefully we can carry that over into this district game tomorrow night at Trigg. So, yeah, it's definitely a big game for us.
One thing before I forget, I believe your freshman guard that comes in, Bryson Walker, is he still out? I know he didn't
against Webster in the JV game, Bryson took a fall, went to brace himself, and I think he it sounds like x-rays showed up good, they were clear, but was still sore on him, so we've been trying to be cautious with that and just make sure that he's going to be healthy, that he's not putting himself in danger or hurting anything worse.
Yeah. Otherwise, everybody's healthy. Kind of like you said, the football guys are kind of getting back. Just got to get them in some shape, huh?
Yeah, football guys are getting back. Sickness stuff going around. We've been battling that. I know Trav and I both have been kind of dealing with that for 5 or 6 days, trying to get rid of some head and chest congestion. We've got some other little bumps and bruises. I know that's just kind of stuff that through a basketball season. Basketball's a long season, and at some point or another, you're going to have to fight through tweaks and bumps and bruises and cuts. So it's going to be good for us to see how we'll respond through not feeling well and not feeling 100%, because that's the mark of a good team. You know you've got something special when you can come into a game and not everybody's feeling 100% healthy, and you can still put together a good game.
So you're going to take a little time off, then go play over in Christmas tournament, holiday tournament next week over in Logan County.
Yep.
Probably won't get to talk to you. We probably won't do a show next week. Holidays coming up. May not have another one until after Christmas. So what do you expect over there? Who are you going to see? Give us a little bit of a preview of that tournament.
Logan County, of course, with Logan County putting on that tournament, Josh Frick is the coach there now. He's who I coached under the last 4 or 5 years at Graves County. Yeah. So that was kind of our connection to getting in there.
That's fun.
Yeah, so it'll be good to see him and watch his guys play and see how him and his family are doing. But and then we are looking at playing. We start out with South Warren, which will be a tough game for us. I know they're a solid team. They've had some good wins. We have gotten to see them play a little bit. They played line at Hoop Fest, so able to see them a little bit there. It'll be tough. That'll be a tough game for us. We'll kind of get to see where we stack up, because, like I said the last time we had talked, it's important for us to look at where we're at and to try to get to a point to where we are competing with the bigger schools that maybe bring in a few more athletes. So that'll be a tough one. And then we have 2 games against 2 Clarksville teams with Montgomery Central and Clarksville Christian. Both of those are very winnable games for us. So it's going to be a matter of, can we battle the fatigue well of playing 3 games in 2 days and taking care of business in the spots where we need to.
Well, these Christmas tournaments are fun, and it like you say, it puts you in that early tournament mode where you've got, and you learn a lot about yourself. Your kids travel together. Yep. You grow as a team, and I don't know. The first part of the season, you're kind of feeling your way. If you're a football school, particularly, you're kind of getting things ready, and then after Christmas, it's almost like, it's almost the second season, isn't it? I mean,
it is. It's a good time, and I know the All A will be a good. That's going to be a new experience for me as well. So these Christmas tournaments are big because it kind of gets you ready, and it's a way to be able to prepare for a tournament mindset where you may play 3 or 4 games in 2 or 3 day span with little time to prepare, and you kind of really have to be able to work on the fly. So that's going to be good for us to be able to go to Logan County and do that, and then take a break, everybody get healthy, spend time with family at Christmas, and then we go to Campbellsville the week after. And there's some good teams that we'll be looking at playing up there as well.
Cool. You like these travel itineraries where you go out and spend a few days together, Trav? What's the funnest part about that? Playing basketball, or is it the bus ride, eating nice places?
For sure the hotels.
The hotel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Basketball was the right answer.
Yeah. The kids love that, though.
It's good for them.
That's what they remember. They forget sometimes. Coach Belt always said, they don't remember the wins and losses, but they remember those bus rides and the music you played on the bus and things like that.
Absolutely.
That's that's what makes high school athletics so great, isn't it? I mean, the bonding and all that it goes with it. Well, Coach, good luck over the holidays and Friday. Let's go down there and get Trigg County. That's a big game, Trev. Yeah. How fast will that car go? Really? We do 100. We'll do 100.
I'm sure it would, but you haven't, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mom and Dad. We'll find out for sure, and I'll let you know if I get the right answer. Rocket fans, we appreciate you joining us on the show today. We'll see you next time.